Hi, Luke Wood here, editor of Glass Times magazine. Today I'm with Asa McGillian, CEO of Apeer Doors. Asa, the last time we spoke was at the Fit Show, obviously a fantastic showcase for innovation and quality. However, we're here today to talk about perhaps how we're seeing a lack of consistency and quality in the industry, particularly with composite doors and U values. Can you tell us why that's so important? And perhaps highlight some of the independent testing you've just carried out on your own product range.
Yeah, good. Hi, look, good to see you again. So we have been doing some independent testing across a broad spectrum of door manufacturers in the UK and Ireland. We have used the TUV Institute in the Rhineland, and we have used IFT in Bavaria. So two very reputed institutions. And the results have thrown up some real shockers. They really have. So what some people are claiming is absolutely not what the product does. And the great news for us here at Apeer is our simulated U values come out even better. So we were simulating a 0.97 or a 0.92, and we come out at a 0.85, which is, as close to passive house as you can get. However, our competitors, specifically one competitor in particular, has absolutely not met the legal minimum, and in fact vastly exceeds it. And I think the issue I have with that is, why am I the guy to pick it up? Who's policing the industry, and why are people getting away with this? I think those are the questions that really need to be asked.
Okay, so there are a number of doors out there that we're talking about that are not up to standard. How many roughly do you think doors are out in the installed across what sectors?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a massive number. It's well over 500,000 doors, and they're installed throughout the whole of the UK and Ireland. That's across residential replacement, social housing, and new build. So it covers everything. And these doors are not energy efficient. In fact, they're the complete opposite. And they've been sold as superior products at a lower cost. And the vast majority of people who've installed have been defrauded, and are being defrauded because they're losing energy each and every day and every year as it goes on.
So it's obviously easier to identify doors in commercial products, perhaps. I think that in terms of the rules and regs are slightly stricter. In home improvements, harder to do that. What are the risks really for installers here that perhaps are fitting doors in good faith, that they're doing what they're saying on the tin? And have any been made accountable so far?
Well, look, the installer is absolutely in the firing line here. And the problem is they're being duped with false claims, claims of low U values. Energy A-rated doors aren't even part of a scheme. So the unfortunate part for them is they are the people in the firing line, because the consumer, when they find out they've been defrauded, are going to come back to the installer. I think that's that's the bit we really need to highlight. And it's what we do to rectify it going forward, that we can make sure that claims are backed up by third-party accreditation. I think that's the key to this, which is, have you reputable accreditation that backs up your claims, and how we maybe highlight that for the installers, that's what they should look for when they're choosing a door and window supplier.
Sure. I remember when we spoke before, we were talking about audits in factories. That's another solution that I think you brought up when we spoke at the Fit Show. Is that right?
I think so. I think, look, we're heavily audited, and we're audited in our factory, we're audited in our manufacturing and our processes, we're audited by BSI, we're audited by BFRC. So everything that we claim is backed up by third-party audited and accreditation. So I think all of the door suppliers, specifically in the composite door industry, should be audited. Manufacturing should be audited at least annually. And those audits should be visible for the public, or for the the installer network to see.
Okay, so it was interesting to see at the Fit Show also some developments on the aluminium sector, because obviously there's been some debate recently about again on U values.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, we saw a new charter being unveiled at the FIT show. Lots of companies signing up to that. Quite a visible show of support for that at the FIT show. Possibly something, there may be scope for something similar for that into the composite door sector. Perhaps a scheme from the GGF or similar.
I think that's a great idea. Genuinely, I think a charter for entrance door manufacturers would be a fantastic idea. I'd certainly sign up to it. Anything that promotes, the right standards, the right commitment to legislation, I'd be all over it. The problem is quite a few people couldn't sign up to it because they can't meet it. There's not just one company. There's multiple other companies that said we have tested a broad spectrum of entrance doors on the market, and more than one have come up suspect. And so there's work to be done to make sure people meet and it's a legal requirement. It's mandated by the government, and it costs money to meet these requirements. And if people can get away with it, and if they can sell inferior products at lower cost, undercut the guys that are doing it right, it's not fair. I think that's what I'm looking for, a level playing field.
Okay, thanks. It's a really important issue. One I think is building some momentum now. So I'm sure we haven't heard the last of it, and I look forward to seeing. I look forward to hearing more from you in the future. Thanks very much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Luke. Talk soon.
Cheers.